Delta 1.
Hey, ¿quién habla?
Mira bien, hijo de tu puta madre. Soy Mencho, güey. Relaja tu puta gente a la verga. Soy Mencho, güey. Relaja tus putas partidas. Si no te voy a partir tu madre, tienes toda tu bola de perros. Te tengo identificado 30 güeyes. Hasta tus putos perros te voy a matar si no te relajas, güey. ¿Cómo ves?
Ya está, señor, ahorita los bajo.
Oh, no cuelgues, hijo de la verga. Te tengo ubicados en Chapala, güey.
No le estoy colgando, le estoy diciendo ahorita los bajo.
Póngase bien las pilas, güey. ¿Qué se le cuesta ser amigo, cabrón? ¿Uno no se mete con ustedes para que se pasen de verga?
No, señor, ahorita yo se las bajo.
Pongan, mire, revíremeles a todos los hijos de su puta madre, porque todos agarran dinero y son buenos de puercos.
Sí, es lo que me están diciendo.
¿Se me ponen a tiros o tú eres el primero que vas a marchar por ellos, León?
No, señor.
¿Vale?
No, señor, no se trata de eso.
Váyase a la verga, porque aquí los vergazos están al 220, ya se la sabe. Y miedo no hay.
No, señor, no se trata de eso. Ahorita yo lo traigo.
Entonces, si quieren amistades, sí va a tener un amigazo, cabrón. Si no, a chingar a su madre a la verga.
No, yo sé, señor.
Ya estoy hasta la verga de que no entiendan, loco.
Señor, usted me conoce, usted sabe que yo soy amistad.
Pues por eso me extraña, cabrón. Yo te entiendo, güey, pero pues no mames, yo sé que tienes gente y la familia de chingada. Verga, póngase las putas pilas.
Yo lo sé, señor. Nada más
no quiero que me apagues este puto teléfono. Después te voy a marcar, güey. A ver si no se relajaron a la verga,
No, ahorita le voy a marcar.
A todos en general, güey. Relájenmelos a la verga, por favor.
Ahorita le voy a marcar de otro número, a este número que me está marcando.
No, este ya no le vuelvas a marcar. Yo le marco cuando yo pueda.
Ándale, pues.
Pero no me lo apague porque lo voy a entender como negatividad.
No, señor. Ahorita le mando un mensaje de otro número.
Órale, pues, Melón, ahí les espero eso, que se relajen a la verga.
Sí, señor, usted me conoce, usted sabe que hay respeto y nada más.
Ya está, igualmente, de aquí para allá también. Ahí disculpa por las malas palabras.
Aquí los muchachos
¿vale?
son los que están allá y usted yo se los saludo.
Ahora pues, ahí le encargo.
Ándale, señor.
Ahí relájenmelos a todos, dígale que va de parte mía.
Claro que sí, señor.
Ya está.
Ándale.
Before he was killed, before the fires, before 20 states burned, there was a phone call, 2.5 minutes that captured something no government briefing ever could. A man believed to be Nemesio Oseguera Cervantes, the leader of the Jalisco New Generation Cartel, the most powerful drug lord walking free in Mexico, picks up the phone and calls a police commander directly, not through an intermediary, not through a coded message. He dials the number himself. And what he says on that line is not a request. The recording, first reported by the Mexican investigative magazine Proceso and dated September 8, 2016, resurfaced within hours of Mencho's death on February 22nd. Insight Crime later published a translated transcript. In it, the caller identifies himself as Mencho and addresses an officer known only by his call sign, Delta 1. There is no greeting, no pleasantry. The tone is raw command. Get your people to relax, the voice says. Get your men to lay off, or I am going to screw you and your mother and your whole squad. The threats escalated fast. I have 30 of you identified, the voice continued. I will even kill your dogs if you do not back off. The caller demanded the officer pull his patrols from the Chapala area of Jalisco, a lakeside region the cartel treated as sovereign territory. There was no negotiation, no counteroffer, just a man who ran an empire telling a man in uniform what to do. What followed was silence, then total submission. You got it, sir, the officer replied. I will tell the squads to fall back. He did not argue, he did not push back. He called a drug lord, sir, and confirmed he would withdraw his men. Proceso reported it was able to authenticate the recording. Whether every word is verified or not, the dynamic on that call was unmistakable. The cartel gave orders and the police obeyed. But the recording revealed more than intimidation. There was a transaction underneath. All of you happily accept my money, the voice said. So if you want us to be friendly, then you be friendly. That line turned a threat into a contract. The audio exposed what analysts had long suspected. In parts of Jalisco and Guanajuato, CJNG did not just fight the police, it owned them. Bribes bought silence, threats bought obedience, phone calls bought entire patrol routes. For years, reports described how local forces in cartel strongholds received instructions directly from CJNG operatives. Commanders were told which roads to avoid, which raids to cancel, which suspects to release. The leaked audio did not just confirm the pattern, it put a voice to it. And when that voice identified itself as Mencho, the most wanted man in the Western Hemisphere, the scale of infiltration became impossible to deny. The clip returned to public attention at the worst possible moment. On February 22, 2026, Mexican special forces killed Mencho during a raid in Tapalpa, a mountain town roughly 90 kilometers south of Guadalajara. The Defense Ministry confirmed troops moved to capture him after intelligence from Mexican agencies and complementary information from the United States placed him in the area. He was wounded in a firefight and died during an airlift to Mexico City. 4 cartel operatives were killed at the scene. 2 more died during transfer. 3 soldiers were wounded. Armored vehicles, rocket launchers, and heavy weapons were seized at the scene. Authorities also confirmed the death of Hugo H., known as El Tuli, Mencho's right-hand man. In a single morning, the Mexican military decapitated the leadership of the most powerful cartel in the country. The U.S. State Department had offered a $15 million bounty for Mencho's capture. The DEA classified CJNG as one of the most dangerous transnational criminal organizations on Earth. And now, its founder was dead. What happened next turned half the country into a war zone. Within hours, the Jalisco New Generation Cartel launched a coordinated wave of retaliation unlike anything Mexico had seen since the Sinaloa fracture in 2023. Mexico's security agency reported 252 narco blockades across 20 of Mexico's 32 states. Burning trucks sealed federal highways. Cars were torched in urban intersections. Convenience stores, pharmacies, and gas stations were set ablaze. Black smoke rose above cities that had been calm just hours before. Jalisco bore the heaviest blow. Puerto Vallarta, the Pacific resort town, erupted. CNN reported drone footage of buildings engulfed in flames and armed men torching vehicles on major avenues. Prison breaks were reported in the city. Guadalajara, Mexico's second-largest city and a host venue for the 2026 FIFA World Cup, went dark. Streets emptied, businesses shuttered. Public transportation was suspended across the entire metropolitan area, including bus routes and the urban rail system. More than 1,000 people were trapped overnight inside Guadalajara's zoo, sleeping in buses because it was too dangerous to drive home, NPR reported. Families from neighboring states like Zacatecas and Michoacan could not return. The zoo's director said there were small children and senior citizens among those sheltering inside. In a city preparing to welcome the world for the World Cup, civilians were hiding in a zoo. The targets were not random. CJNG operatives hit the symbols of daily life. Oxxo convenience stores, the most ubiquitous chain in Mexico, were set ablaze in multiple states. Gas stations burned, pharmacies were looted and torched. The message was designed to land on every citizen. If we cannot have our leader, you cannot have your normalcy. It was collective punishment disguised as retaliation. The destruction radiated outward. Michoacan reported unrest in 13 municipalities. Guanajuato confirmed attacks across 23 municipalities, including arson on stores and banks. Blockades and burning vehicles were reported in Tamaulipas, Colima, Veracruz, Nayarit, Aguascalientes, Guerrero, and as far as Baja California and Mexico City. Schools were shuttered, businesses sealed their doors. Entire communities went into lockdown without a single government order telling them to. Airports were paralyzed. Delta, Alaska, American, Southwest, United, Air Canada, WestJet, and Porter all cancelled flights to Puerto Vallarta and Guadalajara, according to CBS News. Highway blockades cut off access routes to terminals. The U.S. Embassy issued shelter-in-place orders across Jalisco, Tamaulipas, Michoacán, Guerrero, and Nuevo León. Canada issued similar advisories. Thousands of tourists were stranded with no flights and no safe roads out. The human cost was staggering. 25 National Guard members were killed in 6 retaliatory ambushes across Jalisco alone. A state police officer and a prison guard were also killed. As of Monday, the Associated Press reported at least 73 dead in the operation and its aftermath. Euronews broke down the count: 27 members of security forces, 46 suspected criminals, 1 civilian. Mexico deployed 10,000 troops to restore order, according to Euronews. By Monday, most blockades had been cleared. Flights were resuming. President Claudia Sheinbaum praised the operation, but stressed no American forces participated. Washington confirmed it provided intelligence, but emphasized this was entirely a Mexican military operation. The cartel's response, Sheinbaum said, would not go unanswered. But Reuters reported something else. CJNG did not just burn highways, it also waged an information war. The cartel spread false reports that the Guadalajara airport had been taken over by assassins and that buildings across Puerto Vallarta were collapsing in flames. Experts told Reuters the cartel was deliberately shifting the narrative, turning a successful military operation into the appearance of national collapse. They wanted the world to believe Mexico had lost control. And now comes the hardest question. Al Jazeera's John Holman reported there is no obvious successor to Mencho. His brother is in a U.S. prison. His son, known as El Menchito, was convicted by a federal jury in Washington last September. His daughter is also in custody. David Mora of the Crisis Group told Euronews the absence of a direct succession line opens the door to violent realignments within the organization. Regional bosses could fracture the cartel across multiple states. The timing is devastating. Guadalajara's Estadio Akron is scheduled to host 4 World Cup group stage matches in June. A playoff tournament is set for March 26th, barely a month away. Images of burning vehicles, smoke over the skyline, and armed men on the streets of a host city will define the security debate for months. Jalisco's governor told the New York Times he had received no communications from FIFA suggesting concern. But the images speak louder than any official reassurance. For now, the roadblocks have been cleared. Flights are resuming. Schools are reopening. But in Jalisco, Guanajuato, Michoacán, and beyond, communities remain on edge. The phone call from 2016 is a decade old, but its message is timeless. In certain parts of Mexico, a single call from the right man could make the police disappear. That man is now dead. The system that made that phone call possible is not. Subscribe to WLA for daily geopolitical analysis.